All right, let's look at the last case, slope point form. And it's in the form y minus y1 equals m bracket x minus x1. I'll apologize ahead of time. The 1 should be smaller or subscripts, but it's the best I can do in this program, so let's just run with that. All right, so let's look at this equation. It's in the form y minus y1 equals m bracket x minus x1. Now, in class we talked about the derivation of this, which I will go over towards the end of this video, but for now let's just talk about the components. We know that m is going to be the slope. We know x generally is our independent variable, and we know y is our dependent variable. So what on earth is x1 and y1? Well, they're a point on the line. So this is the x-coordinate of a point on the line, and this is the y-coordinate of a point on the line. All right, let's see how we can use slope point form if we're given a slope, and guess what? A point. So our m is our first substitution, so we can put in y minus y1 equals our slope of 3. If you want to put in 3 over 1 to show the ratio of rise over run, that's great. All right, so that's step 1. And step 2 is you take your point. Now remember the coordinate is in the form xy, and we have to put y in first. So where our y is, our 5, we put y minus 5 equals 3. If you want to put the 1 in, you can. And then x minus 4. Yes, that's it. That's your equation in slope point form. There's nothing to it. All right, let's look at our second example. Again, here's the equation, y minus y1 equals m bracket x minus x1, where we can just go ahead and do our substitutions. I'll start with m. So I'm putting in my minus 4. All right, step 2 is to put in our points. Remember, it's in the form of x equals, not y equals, so it's minus 4, x minus 4. Now, if you notice, it's minus 5. So it becomes y plus 5 equals minus 4, x minus 4. So notice how this affects the sign. If the original coordinate is positive, it goes into the bracket and is written as a negative. And if the original point is negative, with the minus minus, it becomes positive. So always watch your signs when you're doing slope point form. All right, here's two equations. They're already in slope point form, but now we have to go backwards. So let's see if we can get out the two pieces of information that we really need. So let's see if we can find our m. Well, we know m is in this position, so slope in this case is minus 2, or minus 2 over 1. And remember, we need to do our coordinates, so we're going to start here. Plus 7, if you remember, that would have been a minus 7, and minus 6 would have been a plus 6. So you can always go back and check. If you put in minus minus, you get plus, and if you put in minus plus, you get minus, and your slope is minus 2. All right, let's look at the second example. So y plus 5 equals a half, x minus 3. Again, you have to know the format. So if we're looking for slope, slope is a half. And if you're looking for your point, remember to take them out backwards and change the sign. Minus 3 becomes 3, plus 5 becomes minus 5. So you should be able to go in both directions, take a slope and a point and put it in, and if given the form, take those two pieces of information back out. All right, here's two questions for you to try. Please write these in slope point form. Take your time, the answers will be on the next slide. All right, let's check your work. First of all, let's write in the slope for minus 3. So here's our slope, and our points are minus 2 for y and 6 for x. So you get y plus 2 equals minus 3x minus 6. Second question, m equals a half. So here's our half, and it's 0 minus 4. So put in minus 4 becomes plus 4, 0 becomes 0. Now you can also write this equation simply as y plus 4 equals 1/2 x. So remember, if I say x equals 0, what really was this point? You got it, an intercept. Here are three questions. Can you find the point or the coordinate given each of these in slope point form? Go ahead and come back and check your answers when you're ready. Okay, hope you had a chance to work through these. Let's have a look. Again, if you want to go backwards and you have plus 7, you know it was going to be minus 7. And if you have minus 5, it's going to be plus 5. Okay, next question. Minus 6 is going to be 6, and plus 7 will be minus 7. And let's go backwards and do one more. Plus 5 becomes minus 5, and minus 3 becomes plus 3. Now, I didn't ask you for the obvious, but what's the slope? 6 minus a third and minus 2/5. All right, let's have a look at the next step in this process, which is converting from slope point form to slope intercept form and or to general form. You can do this in either order. Let's just see what happens. All right, a couple of ways you could do this. The first way is to tackle this using distribution. So we could do y minus 3 equals 4x plus 12. Don't forget to distribute to both terms. Now, I think it almost is in slope-intercept form, so I'm just going to add 3 to both sides, and I'm going to get 4x plus 15. So now, I have it in slope-intercept form. Slope is 4, y-intercept is 15. Well, I'm sure some of you can see already that we just have one more step to do. This is positive, so we're going to bring the y over. Make sure you keep your signs as they should be. Now, all of a sudden, we now have, oops, sorry, I keep doing that, is we have our general form. So let's go back and recap. This is slope-intercept form, and this is general form. Don't forget, if you have questions about either of these two forms, to check the previous 2 videos in this series. Let's do another example. Maybe let's throw in some fractions. All right, let's see. We have an equation here, y minus 5 equals 2/3, bracket x plus 6. So we have to go to slope-intercept or general form, and we have a fraction. The easiest way to get rid of a fraction is to multiply both sides by 3. So if we multiply this side by 3, we get 3 bracket y minus 5 equals 3 times 2/3 times x plus 6. Now remember, these two are multiplying, so you don't have to have a separate 3 for the x plus 6 because when you cancel, it simplifies quite nicely. So on this side you get 3y minus 15 equals 2x plus 12. Well, it's 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. Let's do general first because we already have our 2x positive. So we get 2x minus 3y plus 27 equals 0. So that is our general form. Let's see if we followed all the rules. Does it equal 0? Yep. Any fractions? Nope. Is this positive? Yep. Looks good to me. The last step is to get y by itself. Now if you notice if we go back up to this step here, we can bring everything over, starting again. 3y equals 2x plus 27. Now we can divide by 3, which is 2/3 x plus 27 divided by 3 is 9. I hope you noticed something here right away. The slope is 2/3, and guess what we already knew? The slope was 2/3. So you can actually do this case by taking out the information from this equation and plugging it back in. So there we have it. We have slope point form, we have general form, and we have slope-intercept form. All right, it's your turn to practice. Can you please take these 2 equations that are already in slope point form and turn them into all 3 equations? So we have slope point, you need to find slope intercept, and you need to find general. Go right ahead, and when you come back, check for the answers. All right, I hope that went well. Let's check your work. So the first thing we have to do is check on this side. We need to do some distribution. So y plus 4 equals 3x plus 6. Let's do slope-intercept form first. 3x minus 2, so that's done. So now we have form 2. And you can see that to get from general for here is really just one more step. 3x minus y minus 2 equals 0. So there you have it. I keep doing that, all 3 equations for the first one. The second one is a little bit trickier because it's already got a fraction you have to deal with. So again, if you remember from the last slide how we deal with the fractions, we multiply both sides by 4. So here's 4y minus 3, 4 times 3/4, and the x minus 1. So that gives you 4y minus 12 equals, don't forget to cancel, 3x minus 3. All right, and where do we start? Well, let's get general form first. So let's use 3x minus 4y, and then minus 3 plus 12 is plus 9 equals 0. And now we can get y by itself. So we can get, here's our general, and we'll do one more. So bring the 4y over, essentially on that side. These two keep the same signs, and then we divide by 4. 3/4 x plus 9/4. You can leave it at 9/4. I know it's sort of a bit awkward to work with, but for now it will have to do. And here's a great way to check your work. Here's a slope, here's a slope. Those two should always be the same. So that's the basic things that you need to know how to work with this form, how to go from slope point to general and slope intercept. The next step is to start right from scratch. So let's do it. All right, here's where this question really begins. What I would like you to do from this information given, a slope of 3 and a point of 4 minus 3, I want you to come up with all three forms of the equation. Off you go. All right, let's have a look at this. Let's start with slope point form. What the heck? Y plus 3 equals 3 bracket x minus 4. Slope point form, done. Let's do distribution so that we can get rid of the brackets. Let's just put in slope intercept form first. More negatives, so you have y equals 3x minus 7. This one's super easy. Just bring the y over, so you get 3x minus y minus 7 equals 0. Give that a circle. Slope intercept form, general form, slope point form, info, done. Let's do one with fractions. All right, once again, given a slope of minus 3 halves, which is 3 down, 2 to the right, and a coordinate of minus 4 and minus 5, that's your x and your y, let's come up with all three equations. Go ahead, when you're ready, come back and check the answers. All right, hope you had some success with this equation. Again, watch your signs. You don't change the sign for slope. That stays the same. And there we have slope point form done. Just like that. Now we have to get rid of the 2, so we have to multiply both sides by 2. And don't forget, when you multiply this side by 2, it stays negative. So cross the 2's out and expand both sides. Don't forget about the plus 10 here. A lot of people will make mistakes. And it's minus 3x, and minus 3 times plus 4 is minus 12. So we have a lot of minuses on that side, which means if we're going to general, this has to come back. So 3x plus 2y plus 22 equals 0. That's our general equation. All right, from general, now we can go to slope point form, or sorry, slope intercept form. So let's get our y by itself. 2y equals minus 3x minus 22, and divide both sides by 2, and that'd be minus 11. Now we have our slope intercept form. So there you have it. The slope is minus 3 over 2, and if you go back to the original equation, you can always check your slopes. Did you get what you started with? And in this case, you did. So I think that's pretty much everything you need to know about slope point form, how to convert between the forms, and that's the last section of this section for building equations. Thanks for watching.